Hello, hello, hello. We are live for episode 9. I can't believe we're on episode 9, Kirubai.
Yes, and that is an accomplishment.
Wow, honestly, this started off as a conversation and now we're on episode 9. That's amazing.
So, a question for you: are we going to continue?
What after today?
No, are we going to continue after 10 episodes?
We are going to continue. We're just going to spice things up a little. So let's keep it hush hush for now.
Okay,
Spice things up a
we'll
little.
have the reveal soon.
Exactly, something like that. So, yeah, good evening to everybody joining us today, whether you are joining on Facebook or YouTube. It is good to have you on here. I will just check to make sure this is all working properly on my end. It
Mhm.
should be. Kirub, I hope it's working well on your end
Yes,
as
I'm just
well.
about popping into my Facebook.
Yep, awesome.
And
I can
yes,
see it there.
yes, where are we? Where are we? Where are we?
Okay, I think we're good on my end. So hope everything is good on your end too.
Not really. I can't see myself.
I mean, you can't see yourself. You should be there.
I should be there.
You should be there. See, we've got comments coming in from your page, Kirubai, all the way from Singapore. We've got comments coming in. So
Yeah,
awesome,
that's
awesome,
my
awesome.
friend, and he's an amazing coach, Coach Vengat. Yes,
Wow. That's great. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Coach, for joining us today. It's good to have you on here. So, Kirubai, let's start this conversation. Um, what are we talking about today?
sorry, we're going to talk about acceptance and and the challenges that we impose ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to accept our past. And it's interesting, something that I wrote this morning about acceptance. So I
Okay.
thought, could I read that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I wrote it as a post, and it was rather interesting because it talked about yep. Okay, where is it now? Me and techno and trying to multitask is it's getting to me.
Is it? Did you post it on social media?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going in there.
Do you know what? As you're looking for it, it looks like the the momentum is building up.
Yes, yes. Come on,
Acceptance,
go for it
favorite
while I
one.
look
I
for
love
it.
it. I
Yes.
love it. So yes, today we're talking about acceptance. From my perspective, Kirubai might bring a different perspective, but I guess for me, acceptance is about accepting and embracing yourself, embracing who you are, embracing your identity, embracing all the unique things about you so that you can confidently shine. Because sometimes we don't accept ourselves, we don't accept who we are, and because of that our confidence is knocked, and then we do not present ourselves the way that we need to. So we're going to go into this. We're going to go into this conversation. And, if you're watching, if there's certain things that you struggle to accept about yourself, feel free to share them. Because, we've spoken on here in the past about, Kirubai mentioned how when she first came to the UK, what that was like. And she had to accept that her accent was different and the environment she was in was different. So she had to adapt to it. When I first came to the country, I was about 14, 15. So I was going to school, to secondary school, and my accent was different. I got some interesting questions being asked from my classmates. Oh, you come from Africa. How come you speak good English? I had to now that could have made me sort of have the mindset of, right, they don't like my accent, so I'm going to be silent. But I was like, no, that's not me. That's not me. I'm going to shine. So if my accent is the way it is and you don't get it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I'm going to
Elizabeth,
shine.
I love your confidence. I really love your confidence. I struggled. I really struggled with it. Sorry for cutting in, but you know what? When I came here, they said, "Oh, you speak Queen's English," and I was thinking, "Hey, then what do you others? What others speak?" But you know what? We studied the Queen's English back in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I think Coach Wingate will agree. Singapore, Malaysia, we all spoke the same English.
Oh,
We
wow.
studied the same English. So Queen's English, interesting. So the British don't speak Queen's English. No, they speak Cockney. Sorry, my husband speaks Cockney. But anyway, going back to the subject, I like to read this. He said it says, "Imagine unconditional acceptance boosts confidence of
Mm,
your flaws, your past mistakes, your painful regrets. Now imagine your joys, your kindness, and all the things you have done well and right. No caveats, buts, or disclaimers. Let that feeling sink in deep. Meditate on it. If committing a picture to your memory, reclaim that feeling every day of acceptance."
mm.
So today we are going to leave the past behind, looking on to the future for what we are set. Our path is set in front of us. We just
Mm.
need to take the rightful steps that are already placed in front of us.
That's it. That's absolutely right. And you know what? As you were reading that, one of the things that came to mind in relation to acceptance was the fact that some of us need to accept our past. It is what it is.
Mhm.
It is what it is. There was an image that I saw a few weeks ago. I think it was maybe sometime last week, where someone was talking about the things that you can control and the things that are outside of your control. And sometimes we need to get to a place where we accept that it is what it is. But in spite of it is what it is, what can I do with the things that I can control? What can I change? So it's not always about, oh no, this is happening this way, or that's happening that way, or I'm struggling with this, or my past is this, my past is that. On Saturday, myself and my husband had a live session on our Tim Olujime. We had a conversation where we talked about coming out of a victim mindset, a victim mentality. And part of coming out of a victim mindset is acceptance.
Mhm.
Accepting that, okay, my past is what it is, but my past is not going to hold me back.
Mhm.
My past is what it is, but it's not going to affect my confidence. So yes, I have been through this, I have been through that, life has thrown this at me, people have said this about me, but today is today.
Today is a new day, a new beginning.
Mm.
A new beginning. Your past is the bridge to the future.
Okay, your past is the bridge to. Hey, guys, Kiruba is bringing it on today. Your past is the bridge to your future. Do you want to break that down a bit?
Yeah. So all that you do, all that you have gone through in the past, it actually makes you think, hey, where have I gone wrong? What is the area that I need to change? And what is the areas that I need to work on myself that will propel me into the bridge of my future?
That's it.
And they always say water under the bridge. So your past is water under the bridge.
Mm,
You take the steps forward into the future that you have.
mm.
But it's in your hands and it's in my hands. If I sat on my past and wallowed, I tell you, Elizabeth, I do not know what would have happened to me.
Kiruba, I want us to go a bit deep
Okay?
and bring some extra vulnerability to this.
Yes.
You've got a story.
Yes, I do.
some things happened in your past.
Mhm.
And I know we've sort of touched on the surface. We've touched the surface of it in past episodes. But I want you to kind of share a bit of your story and talk about how it affected your confidence. And if I can ask for that extra vulnerability, if you feel confident enough to be
Oh
that
yes,
vulnerable,
I'm
please
I'm I'm
just share,
confident.
because I think that there might be people who watch this and they might be thinking, okay, you guys are saying that we should just like let go of our past and accept our past and be confident. What does that even look like? What does that even mean? So I think by you sharing your story, how it affected your confidence, it will deliver someone. So over
Here
to
I
you.
go. Here I go. So, as the story goes, when I was very young, young as it in 13 or 14, I was sexually abused. And the abuse went on for a pretty long time, maybe for about 4 or 5 years. But at that point, I was so naive and so innocent that, I didn't know that this person was actually sexually abusing me.
Mm,
So blurred. I mean, if I want to beat myself up, I can today. And because of what happened at that point in my life, but when I was 18, I kind of woke up from my stupor and said, "What's happening to me?" And this was someone who was a family friend, someone
mm,
who was close to the family. So
wow.
when the whole thing came out, I was like in a real daze. I didn't understand what was going on. Nowadays, when you are underage, you are a minor, anything like this happens, you can prosecute that guy, or you can take a case against that person. But
Mm,
yesteryears, those days, everything was pushed under the carpet. I didn't realize that I was going through this, and such was my innocence. But when I was
wow.
18, I woke up. I woke up. But you know what? The damage was done.
Mm,
The damage was so badly done. I lost my self confidence. I was full of shame. I lost my confidence, and I had a whole host of family blaming me. How come you didn't know? How silly can you be? But you know what? They were not in the position to understand too. But
wow.
the journey was difficult, and yet I knew that was not my portion.
Mm,
I am not going to be in that position.
that's
I
it.
realized that I had to work on these areas. So for me, I clung on to my faith. I dedicated my life, and once I dedicated my life to God, and the journey started. The deliverance started. Delivering me from my past started. And it was painful, but yet it was good for me.
That's it.
No pain, no gain.
Mm,
And another area I lost confidence was the way I looked. Every time I looked in the mirror, I felt so ugly. Why is this happened to me? I felt dirty. I felt used and cast out like a rag.
wow.
So, every description that was not becoming for me, I just felt, the mind, how it plays the tricks. But the journey had to start because I knew that was not my portion. I knew God had a better future for me.
That's it.
But what really broke the camel's back is after 20 years, I had to release this person in forgiveness.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though I had forgiven, but I had the strong impression God putting in my heart to go and verbally say to the person, I forgive you.
Mm, wow.
So that was another step of journey after 20 years. 18 plus another 20 when I was 38. I had, and you know what? The person was also waiting to ask for forgiveness from me. That was the perfect timing.
Mm.
So, so the Almighty knows, God knows the perfect timing. And after that, I just felt everything falling away from me.
Mm. Wow.
Everything just falling away because of what was all this entanglement. I couldn't have a proper relationship with a guy. So things of your past can affect your future relationships, or the relationships that you're looking for, especially for women out there who want to go into a, a happy relationship, finding a life partner. When you carry these burdens, those good things might never come to us. So accept, deal, and move on.
Wow. Wow. Accept, deal, and move on. Now, that sounds like an easy summary, but you just said like 20 years. This was like a 20-year journey. So, for anyone that's listening, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know. And we won't belittle your scenario, your situation. But there has to come a time where you have to let go and move on.
Mhm.
There has to come a time where you accept this is what happened. I cannot go back to the past and rewrite the past. I have to deal with where I am today so that I can move forward. Because if you don't deal with where you are today, you cannot move forward in the way that you need to move forward in. Because there will always be something from your past that is grabbing you, that is holding on to you. And so you won't be able to move forward. Kirubai, as you were talking forgiveness, and everyone's talking about forgiveness, it is, and forgiveness is also, is part of acceptance, isn't it? Or
That's right.
acceptance comes into forgiveness, because when something has happened, you can't go back and change it. It has happened. It has happened. And yes, things like that will affect our confidence. They will. Let's be real. Let's be real about this. Things like that will affect how we show up. They will affect, you just talked about finding a life partner.
Mhm.
Depending on what you have been through in past relationships, you might not be as confident when you get into your next relationship because of
True.
stuff that you've gone through. And unless you are willing to accept, deal, and move on, it's going to be hard.
Mhm. And yeah, Coach Wenget says emotional trauma. It's a challenge for healing.
Mm, mm.
So you got to sort this part out.
Wow, wow. Honestly, it's so very important. And sometimes we don't realize how, and the lack of forgiveness is holding us back.
Mm.
We
I
don't
think
realize that.
forgive. This is something that I think Elizabeth, I should share. You see, when we do not forgive somebody or release that person, then we start bleeding on other people because that rock that is in your heart, that hardness in your heart, and you might have triggers,
Hmm.
and then it triggers one emotion, and then it triggers another emotion, and then you kind of be very very horrible to people around you. You know, things like even people, the opposite sex, just holding my hand or just brushing my shoulders was traumatic for me because
Wow, wow.
that fear,
Mm.
and hugging was a no no. So these things, it has evidently, it will show on yourself.
Hmm. Wow. It will show in your confidence.
Yes, it will. And can you imagine going into a relationship? You can't hold hands, you can't hug or express your feelings to someone.
Mm.
You become frigid. That's the word, frigid. Fear. makes you frigid.
Wow. Wow. I didn't realize this conversation was going to take this angle, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So we'll have the
We didn't
conversation.
prepare this.
We honestly we didn't.
Yeah.
For everyone that's watching, Coach Vengat, thank you. Tunji, my husband, thank you. Zippy, it's good to see you. Coach Elaine Briffman, it's good to see you. It's great. Just keep the comments coming in. Help us share the video. If you've got experiences as well that you want to share, please just put it in the comment section, and we can touch base with it. If you've got a question, please feel free to put the question there as well. And as you're kind of going through the different things, and we've reached this topic of forgiveness. I know, for example, my husband, he's watching, and he has a story about forgiveness. In terms of his relationship with his dad. And it's interesting, if that's the right word. It's interesting how much this unforgiveness and the not accepting things as they are. Now, acceptance doesn't mean denial.
Yes.
It's important for us to touch on that. Acceptance does not mean denial. But we have to look at, what can I change today and going forward? You can't keep looking at the past. You can't keep looking at the pain of the past. If you want to move forward confidently, you can't keep holding on to the pain of the past. You have to let it go. You have to accept that that's what happened. Accept who you are and where you are today in order for you to build. It's kind of like, if you're going to build a structure or build something, you have to know where you're starting. You have to know the foundation that you are building on. So these things might have happened. They could have happened. In most cases, they have happened. We're not saying deny the fact that they happened, but we are saying this is affecting your confidence.
But also, Elizabeth, I think seeking help, talking about it, sharing somebody, your confidante, sharing openly, I think it eases off the burden. Eases off the burden. When you
Absolutely.
When you keep it all to yourself, and then you kind of get so worked up. But sharing, those days we didn't have the privilege of going to a coach to speak, or a therapist to speak, or share, your pain, your sorrow, your trauma. But these days, all these things are readily available.
That's it. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because at the start of the week, it was, in fact, yesterday, right? It was yesterday, was World Mental Health Day.
Yes, World Mental Health Day. That's right.
So a lot of us, there might be issues that we're struggling with. But if we can't find the right people to share with, the right people to confide in, the right people to help us, then these issues are going to trap us. They're going to be like that cage. A few weeks ago, myself and my husband encountered a gentleman somewhere on the streets of London. We encountered a gentleman who was literally screaming, and he was just swearing some profanities. And I stood there and I thought, what is wrong with this guy? And the more he kept on getting aggravated, the more he kept on like shouting and saying stuff, I realized that he was trapped in his mind. There was something that he was seeing that for him seemed like a reality. We couldn't see it. Physically, we couldn't see it, but it was trapped in his mind. And so it was causing him to react. It was causing, he caused a sin. They called the ambulance, they called the police, everyone, they called them, because it was that bad, because something was trapping him in his mind. So if that's you, you need to accept what your reality currently is and start seeking what to do about it. Start looking at ways, what doors are open that you can knock on to get the help that you need to get. Who do you need to reach out to? Who do you need to speak to? Reach out to somebody.
I would just like to add something. I think women are more vocal. They like to share their issues more readily. But I seem to see men don't share much, and that can be very detrimental to their mental health. See, part of seeking help is acceptance. You are addressing the issues. So if you are a man out there listening today, and if you have a problem, there are lots of help that you can reach out to. Look for a male therapist if you like, and speak, or just have a conversation with someone. There's so many ways that you can reach out. And if you're from any other parts of the world, I'm sure there is help. See, Tunji is saying that men truly don't have that support like women have, because women can go chatter, 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 but men keep it all inside and get themselves worked up. And one of the things that they suggest for mental health is to talk, to express. When you express, there is a release that comes over you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're talking about expressing, so it's got me thinking about like just different things. The first aspect to do with just mental health, and when you brought men into it, statistics actually in the UK show that there is a rise in young men committing suicide because of mental health related issues. So that was one thing that came to mind as you were speaking. The other thing about being able to speak out, it reminds me of my daughter. So she's 4 and she talks. And coming from the cultures that we come from, sometimes you just want to tell her, Janaya, be quiet. But that shouldn't be the case. I mean, yes, we need to manage it and make sure, she's respectfully disrupting conversations. But as our children are growing up, we need to give them the voice. We need to allow them to express themselves through their voice, because you don't want children who don't talk about the things that they're going through. You want your children to understand that I can come to auntie, to uncle, to mom, to dad and share, and they will hear me out. So as much as we are telling people to open up and to talk, we also need to be people who can listen. We need to be people who can actively listen, because why should someone come and bear their burdens on me if I'm not going to listen to them? They come to speak to me and I'm so distracted. I might be distracted with social media. I might be distracted, with things going on around me. We need to take time out to listen to each other. I'm not even sure why this conversation is going the way it's going, but it is. Colette, it's good to see you. Myself and Colette had an amazing live conversation the other day. Hannah, it's good to see you as well. Dr. Nikita Davis, it's good to see you. Zarina, it's good to see you. Thank you to everyone that is joining. Please engage in the conversation. Let's get some comments from you. if you like what you're hearing, and you know somebody needs to listen to this, please help us and share the video with them, share the link with them. We will be finishing soon, but while we are here, share the link with them. So yeah, this issue of acceptance, and just going back to acceptance and confidence and how the two relate to each other. If you don't accept who you are, your confidence is going to be affected a great deal. If you don't accept where you're coming from, if you don't accept, who God has called you to be. That's just an example. You have to accept that this is who God has called me to be, for you to walk in it. If you don't accept it, how can you intentionally walk in it?
Mm-hmm.
So acceptance is like saying, okay, so this is my clean slate that I'm going to build on. This is what I'm going to work with today. But if you don't accept your uniqueness, if you don't accept differences, then you can't be confident in the things that you need to do. You can't be confident in relationships. You can't be confident in your business. You can't be confident in your career. You can't.
It creeps in. It creeps in. It just creeps in. Just creeps in, and it vomits all over you. If I want to say very drastically, it just gets in. Just gets into every nook and cranny of your life, and it just robs you of that blessing, robs you of that newness that you have to walk, that you can walk into and enjoy life in abundance. Instead of that, it just robs you of life, sucks you out of everything that you need to enjoy. I was just checking some statistics. This is mental illness statistics in United States. 1 out of 5 adults. And you know what is the demographic age? 18 to 25.
Wow.
The years that they are supposed to enjoy and live life. But the pressures of the world, the challenges that they face, maybe in uni, by parents, by peers, that drives them to having a mental breakdown, is very, very high. And of course, the female population percentage is very, very high. It's 70% as opposed to 30%, 30% of men and 70% of women. That's the percentage. So, but the age, 18 to 25. And Coach Wenger is talking about self-sabotage. In Singapore, I know this for a fact, that the peer pressure and the family pressure, uni pressure, and all. And Singapore, it's just all skyscrapers, and they just fall out of their balcony and die. It's easy as that. It's so available.
Wow.
So, our young people need to be saved from this.
It's very important that, yes, our young people are saved, but we need to deal with ourselves first before we can go out to save them.
Yeah, help others. Yeah.
We need to deal with our own, issues. At least to a point. You might not have totally delivered yourself, but we need to deal with our issues to a point so that we can have the confidence to go out and help somebody else. Because those statistics are heartbreaking.
Truly.
When I think about what I was doing at age 18 or age 25, to hear that at that age someone is suffering from depression, anxiety, to the point that they want to take their own lives, or to the point that they do take their own lives, it's saddening, really. But that goes to show that we need to do what we can to deal with our own issues so that we can go out and be a helping hand for somebody else. There's people out there that need us.
Mm-hmm.
There's women out there that are going through some serious issues that need to hear a story like yours, Kirubai,
Yes.
to
My-
know that
So,
there is hope.
my testing has become my testimony today, and that is the bedrock, the foundation of what I am today and how I'm helping women out there.
Mm.
My story carries weight.
That's it. And for me, it's the thing that's really triggering me now, or the thing that's really striking me, is the need for us to get over ourselves so we can go and help somebody. I was at a head teachers conference today, and one of the things that the one of the keynote speakers said was that you're not here for yourself, you're here for the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that really hit home, because sometimes we're very much in a me
Mode.
we're not thinking about the people next to us. We're not thinking about what our sisters or brothers are going through. We're not thinking about, how can I help? How can I add value? How can I encourage? Just even a word of encouragement. Just something that will help someone to know that, there is hope. A word of encouragement can go a long way. To you, it might just seem like a word, but you can be on the streets and you see a young lady looking so down, and you just say, do you know you're beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
A statement like that can break somebody.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they're processing.
Yeah.
But being able to be in a position where you can speak life, you can speak an encouraging word to somebody. It doesn't always have to be, no.
The power of your tongue, the power of words, the
That's
positive
it.
words. Yeah.
That's it. It can make a huge difference to the person next to you.
Mm.
It can make a huge difference. The other day, myself and my husband and my daughter were in the underground, and it was packed. It was so packed. But I noticed across one of the aisles there was a lady wearing a happy birthday badge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think, her 50th birthday or something. So after we got off the underground, I was trying to make eye contact with her just to say happy birthday, but she couldn't see me anyway. So when we got off the train, there was a lot of crowd, but we managed to walk past her. And as we walked past her, I just tapped her on her shoulder and I said, happy birthday. And she just turned and she was so happy. She was like, oh, thank you. You just don't know what something small like that could do.
Yeah.
How we could make a difference to somebody's day. We need to deal with ourselves, because that's it. If you're not filling up your cup, what do you have to give?
Yeah, that's right. Well said.
So you need to deal with what you need to accept and what you need to move forward with, what you need to get rid of, what you need to wash out of your system.
Detox, time to detox. Yeah.
There's some toxic things in us, in our minds, in our hearts. There's some toxic attitudes that we need to get rid of. And if we don't get rid of them, we can't help the person next to us, because they will look at us and say, you're trying to help me.
Mm-mm.
So we need to sort ourselves out.
It just reminds me of the song, It Only Takes a Spark to Get the Fire Going.
Ooh, okay. Are you gonna sing it for us, Kirubai?
No, it's a very old song, but I love the song. And today we are sparking some people out there.
Yeah.
That spark. So I pray that the fire will be caught on.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. And just even to speak a word of encouragement to you guys, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says I am amazing, right?
Woo! Oh, I
But
can't.
I want to remind all of you guys that you are amazing too. We're all amazing. We're all amazing.
Amen. Amen. You all are amazing. Amazing for coming and popping onto our live today and to encourage us with all the chats and the comments. Yeah, you see, Colette knows the song. It only takes a spark.
Why don't you sing it for us, Kiribai?
Probably it will not sound as good. It goes like this. It only takes a spark to get a fire going, and soon all those around can warm up in its glowing. That's how it is with God's love. Once you've experienced it, you spread His love to everyone. I want to pass it on.
Come on. Guys, this was not rehearsed. This was not rehearsed. We're just flowing. This was not rehearsed. Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. Sorry. And there's my camera playing tricks on me. My camera got a bit too excited, guys. Oh wow, 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 wow. Okay. So honestly, thank you for that, Kiribai. You could have said no and you didn't, so thank you. So guys, we just want to remind you that you are amazing. Yeah, accept it. Accept the things that you know about you. And we talk a lot about self-awareness, and self-awareness is an important conversation when we're talking about confidence. Accept the things that you need to accept. Change the things that need to be changed, the things that you have the power to change. Don't waste time on the things that are not in your power to change. If there's something that you can do to change a situation, then do it. But if you can't, it's okay. Do what you can do to effect positive change. If you can speak a word that will encourage somebody, it doesn't cost you. It doesn't cost you. Just speak it. If you can post something on your social media to encourage somebody, just do it. Do it. Because you just don't know. You just don't know who is going to plug in. You don't know who is going to see it. Sometimes I share some things on my WhatsApp story and I don't know who's seeing them. But every so often I'll get a message from somebody saying thank you for all that you're sharing. They might not have engaged, they might not have commented, they might not have, but every so often they'll just reach out and say thank you. So you don't know. Yesterday was World Mental Health Day. Let's look after ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But also be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper. Check in on the people that you need to check in on.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to be nosy,
Depends how nosy we are being, Kiribai. Depends how nosy we are being.
I think in our current surroundings and culture, we become very individualistic. And I like what you said, be your brother's keeper. Absolutely. And take care of your neighbor.
Yes. So on that note, we are going to close this down. Mm-hmm. Before my camera decides to do some other gymnastics on me, we're going to close this down. So Kiribai, where can people find you? Because, for example, you've talked about a little bit of your journey and this journey of forgiveness. If someone is dealing with something where they, a situation where they need to release, they need to forgive. If you can share one last word and also say where people can find you.
Well, you can always DM me. You can find me on all the social medias except for Twitter. I'm happy to help you. We can have a chat. If you are in London, I can always meet you for a cup of coffee.
Mm,
And, we can connect. It's all about connecting. Or just DM me. I could send you my mobile number and we can have a chat on the phone.
that's it. That's it. That's it. So you've had the offer is there. The offer is on the table for you if you want to take it up. When we're having these conversations, we don't want to just have these conversations for the sake of having the conversations, but we're hoping that these conversations will spark something on the inside of you that will grow and build your confidence, or just nudge you in such a way that you do something, you change something, you shift something. Hi, Isabel. Good to see you.
Oh,
We're
Isabel's on the line.
we're
Hi,
literally
Isabel.
rounding up, but it's good to see you on here. You can go back and
And
start
what?
from afresh and
Yeah.
watch it. It's been a very interesting session. But like we were saying, honestly, if you need to reach out, please reach out. Myself, you can find me on literally all platforms. I am on Twitter, unlike Kiruba, I am on Twitter, so you can find me there. So TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm on there. So if you need to reach out, especially if you're a lady and you want to have a conversation about some of the things that we have touched on, and even if you want to know how we can help you, because we can help women to build their confidence through transformational coaching. We can help you. Kiribai brings in the styling aspect as well. So if that's an area that you're struggling with, an area that you're dealing with, we're here to serve you. We're here to help you. So by all means, share this live with other women in your circle, even men. Let them hear what women are talking about, right? Let them hear what women are talking about. And just I guess one final thing to mention is that we mentioned about men and the societal rates, and let's check in on our guys too.
Yeah. Checking on them.
I know they might not want to talk, but let's check in on them. Let's
They
reach out
need a
to
little bit of TLC.
let's reach out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Maybe it will encourage them. It will help them to just open up.
Elizabeth,
Hmm.
can I just say a prayer? I found a lovely prayer. I think
Okay.
it's a familiar prayer for a lot of us. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen. The Serenity Prayer, you can find it online.
Mhm.
It's a powerful prayer. It's a powerful prayer. Thank you once again. We are going to head off. We've gone on slightly longer than we usually intend to. But when there's a need to have a certain conversation, we will go there.
Mhm.
And today was one of those days where we had to go there with the conversation. So reach out if you need to reach out, but make sure that you are dealing with you so that you are in a position to serve the people around you. God bless you.
Bye-bye
We love
now.
you. Thank you once again.
Till next week. See you.
Awesome, awesome,
And love from
awesome.
love from me and Elizabeth.